Oh my goodness, it's ruined. I can't believe that just happened.
Morning, sir, 054 left turn on course is good for you guys. Confirm we can take a left turn on course.
So I've been testing out the new SimWorkShop SW instrument display, specifically the Airbus version. And I wanted to give you guys my actual thoughts after having it on my desk. I'm a licensed pilot. Taking it out of the box, the unboxing wasn't bad at all. The first thing you notice when you pick it up is the build quality. It's got some really nice weight to it. It feels heavy, it feels solid, and it doesn't feel like a cheap piece of plastic. For the screen itself, it looks really nice, but obviously it's just one long screen that they put a custom casing around to mimic the shell of the Airbus. It's not a one-to-one replica size. It's definitely on the smaller side, but the casing over the glass looks pretty nice. Before you put this on your desk, just be careful. The corners on the bottom of this thing are extremely sharp. It's got like zero refinement on any of the edges. The very first time I picked it up and placed it down, it immediately scratched my wood desk. So if you pick up one of these, you definitely need to put a desk mat or some kind of felt or protection underneath it. Hopefully in the future models, SimWorkShop refines that edge down, because right now it's dangerously sharp for furniture and even picking up with your hands. But aside from that, the actual resolution of the screen is really nice. It's super clear, it's easy to read, and it really doesn't feel like there's any delay when you're flying. When it comes to mounting it, it does come with a little tripod stand to prop it up. Shout out to them for actually including a stand, because a lot of other brands out there don't give you anything built in. You just kind of have to buy something separate or figure it out yourself. Aside from the scratching, the only other issue I had with this layout is that I can't cleanly fit my glare shield and everything right underneath it. What would have been perfect is if it came with an option for a desk clamp. That way I could mount the screen directly under the edge of my desk and have the glare shield sit right above it. It's really not that much of a deal breaker since the included stand works perfectly fine, but it's just something to keep in mind depending on how your cockpit is laid out. Alright, I'll show you guys how to properly set it up with the software and in the sim. It is a little confusing if you've never done it before, but hopefully the way I'm going to explain it is going to be very easy. Okay, so assuming that you already downloaded the software for SimWorkshops, we're going to move that screen to the side so we can see both the screen and the software. Click the XY button and then go to the screen on slot 1 and click the corner. This is going to calibrate that screen to that corner. And now repeat everything in the first window, the second window, and the third window. If the screen looks off-centered, you can go and adjust the numbers for the X, Y, width, and height. Adjusting that will allow it to fit better onto your screen if it doesn't look good. Now that we're in the sim, click the Pick Source In-Game button and go and click the first screen, and then do the same thing for the second screen, and then the third screen. Once you've selected all of those, you're gonna go and click Save Point Profile, and then you're done. You can click Start Mapping. And once you click Start Mapping, you'll see some of the tabs opening, then it's gonna send all of that to the screen. You guys will notice that the taskbar is still there, and that's kind of the catch with this system. You have to go into your computer's settings and disable the taskbar, which can be annoying if you have the taskbar open all the time. So every time I fly with it, I have to go and disable the taskbar. What would have been nice is if they could find a way to make the software automatically put the taskbar away. For example, when I'm flying on the flight simulator, you can run on a windowed option or a full screen option. And I fly with the full screen option, so whenever I load up the sim, it's already set to the full screen mode. Otherwise, it's really not a big deal. I use USB extenders to extend the amount of ports I have available, which I'm sure most simmers are using as well if they have external devices hooked up for flight sim. I ran into this one really weird issue when setting this up with the rest of my gear. If I try to hook up my other panels, like if I want to plug in my MCDU or my glare shield alongside this, the screen completely shuts off. For some reason, the moment those hardware pieces are plugged in, this unit stops projecting the screen entirely. It's like it can't handle being compatible with them at the same time. But the second I unplug the other gear, the screen works perfectly fine. It's definitely a strange quirk, feels like a software or driver thing. I'm pretty sure a simple firmware update for them will fix that. When I run everything on separate USB ports, there's no issues with it, which just means it might be generating too much power for that one USB port to handle, which is kind of difficult if you're going to be using it with a flight sim cockpit. Let's try it out in the sim now and see how it looks and how it flies. Now we're in the sim and we'll give it a shot and see how it performs. We'll stop the pushback here. All right, so now we'll do the engine start, and now I'll bring the display up on the screen. Good start on engine number 2, and we'll do number 1 now. Now for the after start, we'll do flaps 1, rudder trim reset, spoilers are armed, and auto brake max. And we'll adjust the trim. Now let's do the flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral. Our flight controls are performing fine. They have full deflection, so that's very good. We'll start our taxi now. We'll pull some power up to get some momentum going, and then we'll bring it back down. So today we'll be flying this A320 with a classic livery. If you guys know of this livery or you've flown with this livery, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. We'll be crossing this nice CRJ 900. Even though this is the sim for fun, let's just notify the crew. Let's check out this approach on this A321 here. That looked a little rough. So we're lining up runway 24 left. We see the runway markings showing 24 left, and we can cross-check that by looking at our heading, which also shows 24. Bring the power up, let it stabilize. Start the chrono, and we can put power flex. Manflex 67, SRS, runway auto thrust blue. We keep the pressure down on the side stick. A 100 knots, release the pressure. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. I'll try to stick on the flight director as best as possible. For my after takeoff, flaps are up, spoilers are disarmed, and we can disable our lights. Man, it's giving me a hard time with the lights since I'm using the scroll wheel on my mouse, but forget about that. Let's go direct fawns and fawns. Oh, I guess I didn't click that. Fawns and insert. It's actually kind of crazy that this is something you can buy for the flight sim. I forget that this is Flight Simulator when I'm using this product. It feels very authentic. Sure, the size isn't the same and the position of it, but visually this is very immersive. All right, we passed 10,000 feet, so we can turn off the landing lights and the logo light. During this time lapse, enjoy looking at the display there. It looks pretty cool. It really looks like it's in the sim. So as well, don't pay attention too intensely to the flight plan I created. This is strictly for testing purposes. It is not realistic. We've started the descent from the cruise altitude I had set of 15,000 feet for an arrival on the ILS 24 right. To me, looking at the artificial horizon during the turns was the most satisfying part. It's just really cool to see that kind of immersion in a flight sim setup. We'll increase some drag here by adding a bit of spoilers, and we won't keep it out for too long, just to help us with the descent to slow us down. So the approach we're going to be doing today is an open star, meaning that the star doesn't bring you directly into the ILS glide path. So if you look at the display there on the navigation system, it's kind of like going straight and the ILS is just left loose. In that case, you would realistically be given vectors to the final. A closed star pretty much means that the star goes directly into the ILS and you wouldn't need vectors to get onto the final. Let's start our turn to final though. Alright, we've intercepted the glide path, so we can enable autopilot 2. If you want to know if you're actually on the glide path, the easiest way to do so is to look on your artificial horizon to the right of it. That purple diamond on the right of it and below the artificial horizon are what will keep you on the glide path. If you keep it directly centered on the yellow line, you'll come in perfectly into the approach. But something you do need to know is that the closer you get to the airport, the more sensitive those diamonds become. Of course, you want to keep the diamonds there, but it will be very sensitive. So a small error is going to cause you what looks like a big mistake. So don't do big corrections to get back onto the glide because it's just very sensitive.
2,500.
Speed check, gear down. Flaps full, spoilers are armed, auto brake minimum. We'll get our landing lights set and it's giving me a hard time. I use the scroll wheel to put the lights on and they always give me a hard time. We'll notify the fake crew in the back and continue on the approach. Autopilot's disconnected. Pay attention to those purple diamonds. You'll see that they do like to bounce around a lot, and I'm still perfectly on the path.
Above.
The wind is jumping around a bit.
Minimum.
Landing. Idle.
20. Retard.
Reverse is green. And I'll take over manual braking here. let me slow down a bit because I don't want to take this high speed at above 40 knots. And yeah, I think that was really good. I'm very impressed with how much immersion this display gives me. So overall, it's not perfect, but it's a really solid little display. It's compact, the screen is sharp with zero lag, and it feels heavy duty. But just remember that you need to put a mat underneath it so you don't ruin your desk. Maybe it's just my particular model was sent that way, but just in case, put a mat. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Feel free to like and subscribe to help me be able to make more videos like this or just more videos in general. Thanks for watching.